My name is Chris Bentzel. I graduated from Elizabethtown College in 1995, and then Pequea Valley High School in 1991. That's a small high school in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. I joined the Army in 1996, and I was enlisted for 3 years, and then I became an officer, and I was an officer for 7 and got out approximately 2005 of August. In the Army, I was a warrant officer. I was a W-2, and I got out, promotable to 3. And I was a UH-60 helicopter pilot. I was a helicopter pilot for the United States Army. I decided to stay in Hopkinsville following my military career because my wife is originally from here. She graduated from Christian County High School, and her family is here. And it just felt like home. I wanted to kind of make a home here, career here, profession here, and of course, I could get into the school system, and it felt right. Well, in high school, everything's different, and I would tell students, if I could tell them I'd tell them this every day, hopefully. The 2 or 3 things in high school I would tell students is, number 1, the scoreboard is on. Everything in high school matters. The moment you walk in as a freshman to the moment you leave as a senior. Your credits, your GPA, your attendance, your discipline infractions, they're all calculated, they're all recorded, they're all on record, they're all on a transcript, and they all count, they all matter. And to this day, you get job applications, reference checks that reflect what you did in high school. So the scoreboard is on. The second thing I would say is be motivated by something. You know, growing up, I was motivated by my father, and sometimes the hard hand that dealt the discipline out. But if you don't have a motivation in life, you won't be pushed to succeed, because we'll provide at the high school level, hopefully our job is to provide you the tools, the resources, the support, the information, the means to make a future post-graduation, but you have to have that internal motivation. You have to do your part, you have to do your job. So motivation would be the second thing. And the third thing is you gotta work, you gotta want it. Too many times in high school is not easy, especially your junior year, senior year. And we're trying to ramp that up to the level of the intensity, the workload, so that they're ready for post-graduation. For example, you got to show up to school every day on time, because in your job post-graduation, you got to show up to school. You got to have your cell phone put up. The little things matter. You got to work hard, and the little things matter. So the 3 things, going back to your question, is scoreboard's on. You got to be motivated, and you got to work hard. Little things matter. The primary test is the college entrance exam, which the state of Kentucky uses the ACT currently. That's the most important test of your 13-year educational career. That gets you into college. That sets the bar for your scholarships. It sets the bar for your financial aid. It can pretty much make or break and set the next 10 to 15 years of your life, because it dictates the financial aid of college and what you can get. Scores of 30 and above, 20 and above can get you a free ride to college. And that will in itself lead you to a good experience, come out of school debt-free. That's the #1 test, without question. Now, if you're not for college, if college is not for you and you want to go to a different track, you got the TABE test, the military entrance exam. There's different tests that apply, but again, find that thing, that niche, that career path you want to go to. Find that assessment, the ACT for college, the ASVAB for military, or the TABE or something else for occupational or business or manufacturing, and be great at it. And again, the high schools in this area, hopefully both Hopkinsville High School, Christian County, UHA, they'll get you prepared for that if you're motivated, you work hard, and you pay attention. Contact the guidance counselors for information on those tests. They'll get it out to you. We have a testing coordinator who's in charge of that. Call the school, we'll line it up. That's our job to support. Our job is to support students, and in turn, parents and parent questions, and we'll take care of it. There's not a limit on how many times you can take it. The ACT, I would take the ACT as many times as possible. I would say a good recommendation is 3 to take the ACT. The first time's kind of that first time, get the jitters out, understand what the format is, understand it's a time test. You have so much time to complete so many questions. There's 4 sections. How to use the calculator. Testing on the ACT and on most tests in life is 50% content knowledge, 50% attitude and entry. How you enter the test, what's your attitude, and the format of the test. So take it the first time, get those jitters out. Have a plan the second time, and then refine it and knock it out of the park the third time. So 3 is a good number. I tell our students 3 times. Anything more than 3, you might get a little burned out, but minimum 3 times for that college entrance exam. Social media has, I felt like it's brought us forward 50 years, but it's also set us back 50 years, sometimes on certain days 55, 60 years, because of it has its good points and its bad points. It's how you use it. It's your purpose for using it. For example, on social media, when we do interviews for teacher ed positions, for support staff positions, first place we look is their Facebook page, who they associate with, what they do in their spare time, their family time, what they feel is relevant to post on social media, is applicable to their job skills and their references. So be careful with social media. Use it for what it's intended to do. And once you get outside the parameters of what it's intended to use, it can only hurt you. And there's a lot of school discipline that deals with social media, but that stays with you forever also, because it never really goes away. So don't let that decision you make as a freshman, sophomore, junior in high school dictate the rest of your life, and just be careful with it. Internships and co-ops in high school, it's a great question, because I think that's the next phase for public education, especially at the high school level. It's a must. It needs to start happening across the spectrums. We try to classify our students, give them 4 tracks to look at: a business industry, a 2-year college, a 4-year college, and a military service, so they can pick one of those tracks and go for it. And right now we're lacking in that qualifications or that experience and that real world experience in the industries and those apprenticeships. And just like we get student teachers in practicum work in the college universities, I'm more apt to hire a student teacher that's interning in my building and doing a great job and knowing the ropes and being a part of our culture, our staff, and our family, and knowing our kids and how we do business, and then turn around and hire them when they graduate. So would an industry, if they do a good job and they set the parameters up correctly, hire an 18-year-old senior who comes in their spring semester and works for them and knows the ins and outs and knows their job, and can turn around and be a full-time employee and already know the ropes and do on-the-job training. So we need to get that going in this community, in this town, in this part of the state, and in the public schools in the district. We need to. That to me is a big push right now, in my opinion. That needs to happen soon. Your family will be here for the rest of your life. It's 3 or 4 years. It's that time that you need to experience. I feel like everybody should get away at some point and go out and be that young adult, be that independent adult, and experience life. You're going to get homesick. You're going to have those challenges. You're going to be alone. You're going to have to figure that out. But you're not alone. It's happened to everybody. It happened to me. I was 17 when I went to college. I was 21 when I was in the military. I was 22 and I was in Korea for a year. And I was homesick. For 9 years, I spent every Thanksgiving away from my family. For 2 years out of the last 4, when I was in the military, I was away from my wife. So it happens to everybody. It's a normal thing. You got to deal with that's real world. It's gonna be all right. That too shall pass, and you move forward, because that's an investment you're making long term, because your family will always be here. Knowing what I know now, what would I do differently? I would listen to the people that have more experience than I did. I would probably go into the military right out of high school, get that GI Bill, because I was a little older. I would definitely still do the military. It's a great experience for young men and women. It teaches you discipline, self-motivation. And I would apply myself and work so much harder and take advantage of all the resources and support. I came out of high school and college, specifically college, $35,000 in debt. And that was part of the reason I went into the military. And that didn't have to happen. If I'd applied myself, if I'd have took the appropriate steps, if I'd have took the appropriate actions, if I'd have applied myself in that college entrance exam at the time, my life would have been different. Now I have no regrets in how it went, because I had to work harder the second half of my life, from when I was 16 to 25. If I'd have just done what I was supposed to be doing, life would have been a little bit easier. At high school, again, I can't stress this enough. It's important for students to understand the moment, time period they're in their lives. We tell our kids all the time, be in the moment, live where your feet are grounded, where your feet are planted at. Understand that the friends you have right now probably won't be the same friends you have 5 years, 10 years, 15 years from now. And take care of what's important. I know that you think your friends are important. I know that you think that athletics or your job is important. But you only have one chance in high school to make an impact that will set the stage for post-graduation. And that could be one of those 4 areas. And it's never too young now. And if I had my way to do it again, I told you what I would do. And I don't want kids to have that same issue of saying I would do it differently. High school is great, college is great. Find that thing that you can hold on to that motivates you. Listen to the adults that surround you. Take advantage of the abundant resources that are available for you, and soar and do what you're supposed to do, and be great, and then get married and fall in love and come back to Hopkinsville and give back to your community. But for the meantime, worry about yourself, be an independent person, and get educated, and go to do those things post-graduation, and then the rest of the life will be there. Adults, the real world will always be there, and right now take care of what's important. That's your education and your post-graduation plans.